Okay guys, I'm here doing another video and we're going to give you an update on Esther's year, Esther's preparation and the timeline and everything. For those of you that are new to the channel, I'm going to have a lot of links in the description field which I strongly encourage you to watch. Unfortunately, I won't be able to just repeat everything because there's so much information. But what I want to go over, guys, is in Esther chapter 2, it talks about Esther being prepared to meet the king, and it says, Esther is called by name, and she goes to meet the king, and Esther was taken to King Artaxerxes, not Artaxerxes, but it's his similar name, to his royal house in the 10th month, which is the month of Tebet, in the 7th year of his reign. Now, this is the time period we're in right now. Right now, you can see on a calendar here, the 10th month, that was 2 months ago, essentially, okay? We are now entering the 12th month, and it's in the 12th month, which is Purim, okay? And Purim is in the book of Esther. Now, it says that she's taken into the royal house in the 10th month, the month of Tebet, in the 7th year of his reign, okay? Now, let's keep reading here. That was right here in the royal house in the 10th month, which is the month of Tebet, in the 7th year of his reign. We know we're in the 7th year of his reign. We're going to talk about the solar eclipses a little bit, but let's go over what it says in the book of Esther, guys. The king loved Esther above all the women. She paid grace and favor in his sight more than the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. Okay, so Esther is made queen, and you can see here it's the 10th month. Now, we know that the woman clothed with the sun has a crown as well, right? 12 stars, okay? So, the king made a great feast unto all his princes and servants, even Esther's feast. He made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king. Okay? Now, here it's telling us about a great feast. Now, earlier the king had a feast, and these are all invitations, guys, to the wedding supper. But in Esther chapter 1, verse 3, in the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all the princes, his servants, the power of Persia, Media, the nobles, the princes, and the provinces which are before him, and he showed him his riches and glorious kingdom, honor, his excellent majesty many days, even 180 days. Okay? Then what happens is Esther is prepared 1 year. Okay? Now, what this may be suggesting here, guys, is that this feast of Esther may also be 180 days. All right? Now, if that's the case, this is giving us a window of time. All right. Now, Esther's year of preparation concluded in the 6th month. So then you would add another 6 months or bring it to the 12th month, the month we're in now. Now, look what it says here in verse 19. And when the virgins were gathered together a second time. Okay. So it's saying that Esther is gathered in the 10th month in the 7th year. Okay. But then there's a second time. And then it says Mordecai sat at the king's gate. Okay. Now, the king's gate is amazing. I'm going to have to do maybe another video on that. But Mordecai is the man-child. Okay, so the woman clothed with the sun births a man-child. He gets a rod of iron to rule the nations. Okay, that's Mordecai. Mordecai is a type of the man-child. Okay, but it's saying here that the virgins are gathered together the second time. Okay, now let's do a quick recap. Now, how is it, Leland, that you know these years? Well, we know these years because it says the king has a feast after 1, 2, 3 years, okay? And his feast is 180 days, so that's 3.5 years, okay? Then the king invites Vashti. She refuses the king's command, and that brings us to the seals, okay? And the blood moons. So that's in the spring of 2014. Then we start counting these years until the king's wrath is appeased. When the king's wrath is appeased, then Esther is prepared for 1 year. 1 year of myrrh and 6 months of myrrh and 6 months of sweet odor. 1 year, Esther's preparation. Okay. So we have that at the conclusion of the 7th year. Okay. And it says clearly in the 10th month in the 7th year. All right. But Then it says the king made a great feast. Well, that could be like the other great feast. You can see it here. The king made a feast, a 180-day feast, and Vashti refused the king's command. So that's what we might be looking at, is that after Esther is prepared, there's a interval of time of 180 days. Okay, now, the other thing we have to look at, guys, I encourage you to watch the video if you didn't see this one before, but there's a certain sequence of these eclipses, okay? And you see this 12 here in this circle? See that 12? That's the month we're in right now, and that's a solar eclipse. That just happened the other day, okay? Now, each one of these eclipses marks perfectly these intervals of time, whether it be whatever you want to call it, 6 months, okay? So this is where we are, 6 months. We're in this interval, okay? We're still in 2017, all right? But it says the king has a great feast, okay? So that may be what we're looking at, all right? I'm just, just pointing that out, guys, okay? And then what happens, we have this perfect sequence of eclipses. Now, I want to point something out, that these eclipses, they begin in 2014, all right? But then they begin to form a structure of fours, okay? So this one here marked the beginning of Esther's preparation, okay? This one marked the halfway point. So these eclipses, I'll show you the dates of them in a second, okay, is the middle point. The middle point is Purim. So this is the 6th month. This is the 12th month, okay? The middle point. Then this is the 6th month again. You see that? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then they continue. 4. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. And that concludes with this one. You can see each one of the circles here in white means it's a solar eclipse. So this is a pattern of 4. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then it's going to continue into the upcoming years. Every 6 months, there's going to be one of these eclipses. I have another video we talk about this, but then we got 1, 2, 3, 4. These are lunar eclipses, okay? Then we have solar eclipses, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Then it alternates again, and we have lunar eclipses, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And then there's 2 more. It actually will go off this page. We have 1, 2, and those 2 are the conclusion. So basically what we have here, guys, is we have the sequence of eclipses in patterns of 4. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. Okay, so there's 5.5 of these cycles. All right, but what this is based on, all these numbers are based on these years. Okay, so Esther's brought before the king in the 7th year. Okay, now it says clear in the book of Esther that Haman is killed in the 12th year. Okay, so this is giving us a time period longer than 7 years, guys. That's what I'm pointing at. And so this is the time period we are in. Okay, and I'm just showing you that, this is where we're at. Now, if we look at the calendar, and we have the calendar here, we're in the 12th month. We're in the 12th month. Here's that solar eclipse that just happened. This was February 15th. Solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse. That's the 5th day of the 12th month, okay? Now, at the time of this recording, we're right here. We're the 8th day of the 12th month. 1 week from today is Purim. So I encourage you, if you want to do Purim, there's a fast. Typically, I do the fast 3 days prior to Purim, so 1, 2, 3. That would be fasting the 12th month and 12th day, 13th day and 14th day, okay? That's Purim, if you want to do that. Now, let me also show you this sequence in Esther's preparation. It's just another way I'm showing you the same thing, but you can see the 6th month and Purim, it alternates. So you can see here, I'll put these notes in the description field so you can see this here. But the beginning of Esther's year of preparation was September 1st, 2016. Okay, then the halfway point is February 26, 2017. Esther's preparation concludes August 21st. This big solar eclipse over America, 2017. Okay, and now we have another one, which may be Esther's feast, 180 days. That was February 15th, 2018. So you can see all of these are perfectly in the 6th month, 12th month, 6th month, 12th month, and they're all on the 15th day of the month. Okay? And we're just saying maybe this feast, Esther chapter 2, verse 18, this great feast is another interval like these other ones, okay? And it talks about the princes and servants, okay? That's the man-child, 144,000. The provinces are 127 provinces, okay? Now, it also talks about these intervals. 180 times 7 is 1,260, okay? So let me just do a quick little thing on... I'll put links in the description field of these more detailed videos, guys. But just a quick one, I really encourage you to get these particular notes on the connection between the book of Esther and Revelation, so you can understand this. But basically, Esther chapters 1 and 2 are clearly defined in the book of Revelation, okay, the feast and everything. But the main thing I'm trying to show you is that there's these years, okay? So there's 3 years. The king sits on the throne 3 years. You hold a feast 180 days. That's 3.5 years, okay? Then it's another 3.5 years to get to 7 years is where we are now, okay? The book of Esther all clearly outlines all these things, and this is what we can see. The virgins are gathered together the second time. That means that something has already happened, okay? But, you know, we're still watching. Now, as well, before I conclude this, just want to do a quick video, guys, is to please watch these other videos. We go into great detail about these 7 years and how these blood moons and these lunar and solar eclipses over this period of time. We're talking about 10 years. There are perfectly markers of solar and lunar eclipses every single 6-month period over 10 years, 10.5 years, actually. So we have one, this document covers the first 7 years, okay? And that's just like this chart here, the first 7 years, okay? Then we enter the next 7 years, the 7 years of the megathalipsis, Great Tribulation, okay? Now, let me just show you this as well. Please watch the video on this one. This is very, very exciting news. But you can see here that here's February 15th. Okay, 2018. Now, that just happened, and you can see that's happening in the time period of the first trumpet, okay? Then, that concludes 4 solar eclipses, marking Esther's preparation. So those 4 solar eclipses, what I'm trying to tell you guys, is those eclipses, there's 4 of them, the one we just had, okay, all of those are clearly defined as things in Esther, okay? Now, if you don't know any of this and you don't really know that you've prepared, go through the playlist, Esther's preparation. You know, God might have already done this stuff in your life. I don't know, okay? I'm just telling you what happened. My job is to tell you what time it is, okay? So you got 4 eclipses marking the beginning, the middle, the end of Esther's preparation, and then 180-day feast, okay? 4 eclipses. Then what you have, those are solar eclipses. Then you have another 4. These are lunar eclipses, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And then these are, now we're into the trumpets, okay? And I'm going to have more detail on this, guys, but I'm just going over this as well. We've shown you as well that there are priest courses assigned with these eclipses. And so the priest courses as well, what a priest course is, guys, is I'll use an example right now. Okay, so today is the 8th day of the 12th month, okay? Now, each priest course is clearly defined here. You see that says Bilga? It's in green. Well, that's the Sabbath. So he serves those 7 days, okay? So that's what a priest course is. A priest course is a week, Bilga, okay? And you can see Bilga is right here. Now, Bilga is obviously because we're in this time period of the February 15th, priest course. Actually, excuse me. Let me make a correction there, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, see, all right, Bilga is here, okay, and the solar eclipse is here. So he actually serves that week. Okay, so we're actually in Inmer. Okay, Inmer is here, and we're here. So Inmer is serving this week. So just making a correction there. We're in Inmer at the time of this video. And then you can see this sequence of priests: Bilgah, Inmer, Hezer, Aphises, Pethaniah, etc. It goes all through a perfect sequence of priests as well over these years, over these 7 years perfectly. Okay, so what we can see at the time period we are in the week leading to Purim. Okay, today is the 8th day of the 12th month. Purim is the 15th day of the 12th month. We can see through the course of time the 6th month and 12th month. Okay, all this time you can see perfectly the 15th day. There's been a solar eclipse. Now, they're not on the exact day, guys. They're different. The moon is short. Okay, you see here, like 62 days, 177, 177, 178. The moon is short. Okay, it's not going to be the prophetic 180 days like it says in the scriptures. Okay, but the Enoch calendar follows this sequence perfectly. And if we consider Esther's feast as another 180 days, just like the feast in Esther chapter 1, then we're looking at a particular interval. Now, another thing I want to talk about as well, let me move this so you can see it, is how all this perfectly lines up in the book of Esther with not only the book of Revelation, but Song of Solomon. Okay, so here's just Song of Solomon real quick, guys. Before I showed you about the armory and the shields, I have another video on that. This is all in Song of Solomon chapter 4. Then in Song of Solomon chapter 4, a garden enclosed, my sister, my spouse, a spring shut up, a fountain sealed. Okay, so here she is sealed. Song of Solomon 4:12. Okay, then it talks about the frankincense and myrrh. Okay, well, you can see Esther's preparation, frankincense and myrrh. Okay, then it says, awake north wind, come south wind, blow upon my garden and my spices. Okay, let my beloved come to his garden and eat his pleasant fruits. Now, these are two of the winds mentioned in Revelation 7. We're looking. It says, let not the winds blow till you seal the servants of God on their forehead. All right, so those are the winds. Now, verse 1 of chapter 5, come to my garden, my sister, my spouse. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb with my honey. Come drink my wine and my milk. O friends, drink abundantly. Okay, now what is that? That is Esther's feast. Okay, so all that is clearly in Song of Solomon. It's also clearly in Revelation. Okay, we go to Revelation chapter 7. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing in the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds. We just saw 2 of the 4 winds. Blow not on the earth nor the sea into any tree. And I saw angels standing from the east, having the seal of the living God on his forehead. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, whom was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth and the sea and the trees until we have sealed the servants of God on their forehead. Okay, there we can clearly see the seal. Okay, and as well, we have the winds, the 4 winds. Saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds. Okay,